Ayvi Samru Lach Shirin Virachashin Yerushalayim Kamarta Shufraya Aikari Baina Valam V'yafaya Ahatu Mahaka Melech Machaya Melech Machaya.
Shkoyach. Thank you.
Duvie. In hindsight, I think I should have had you sing the whole thing and not skip one paragraph. It was a really beautiful niggin. Brings back a lot of memories from a lot of different places. Before Meyer is going to lay in the maftir and the haftarah, I wanted to share with you something that came across our desk today. And before sending it out just as an email and something else, I'd like to just have a quick look at it, and I'm sure the Rav is going to bring it up. I know during this time, people have probably taken on takonis and try to do something else. I can only speak from my own experience. I took on a small takana and I'm struggling with it. Our family decided that we're going to have put up an Asher Yotzer sign and say the bracha out loud every time, and it's been a struggle. I can't say that if I've done it 50% of the time, would be okay. It's more like 20 or 25 when I remember. But it's something else when an entire community takes on a takana, and this way, Isha Sachiv Yazoru Lachiv Yomer Chazak, we're able to support one another and taking on a new takana. It's not my place to introduce this takana, but it did come across, and the Rav asked me to add it to the loop email. And I thought it's better to introduce it now. We can all look at it together and you all get it on the WhatsApp immediately after the program. So bear with me for a moment. I'll give it the highlights. It is produced by the Chafetz Chaim Foundation. I think you could see it. Is that correct? You're able to see it? Okay. Toronto. 1 hour, one city, one goal. Join a community-wide 40-day Machsum Lefi from 7 to 8 p.m. daily, starting Monday, June 15th. Now, of course, if you tune in to their loop radio, it won't be an issue. You'll do listening most of the time, so it will work. But if in case you're not tuned in, that's what this is calling for 1 hour a week, to be extra vigilant in taking care of what it is that we say. It is endorsed by the Vada Rabbanim. To join, just simply send an email saying I'm in. This will be in your WhatsApp immediately following the program. Meyer, it's time to lay him after.
Okay.
Yossi, do you have the Chumash? You want me to call it up? I'll get it. 1 second. Okay, go ahead, Meyer. Don't wait for it.
All right. Kol abakar la'oila shenei masar parim elim shenei masar kevasim neshana shenei masar umin chasam usi reizim shenei masar lechatos lechael bekar zemach hashelomim esrim v'arba parim Elim shishim atudim shishim kivosim b'nei shana shishim. Sois Chanukas hamizbeach achrei Moshach oisoi ubevoy Moshe Elohel moyed ledaber itoi vayishma sakoel midaber elov me'al hakapoires asher al aroin ha'idus mibein shnei hakiruvim Vaydaber elov. ויהי איש אחד מצרעו ממשפחת אדוני ושמו מנויח ואשתו יקרו ולא ילדו ויראו המלאך אדוני אלו אישו ויאמר אליה הננו את עקרו ולא ילדת והוריס וילדת בן ועתה אישה מרינה ואל תשתי יין ושחר ואל תאכלי כל טמא כי היא נחרה וילדת בן ומוירה לא יעלה אל ראשו כי נזיר לאם ינער מן הבטן והוא יאכל לא ישיעס ישראל מיד פלישתים ותבוא אישה ותאמר לאישה לאמור אישה אלוהים בא אלי ומראהו כמראה מלאך אלוהים נראה מיד ולא שאלתיהו היי מזהו וישמע לא הגיד לי ויאמר לי נחרה וילדת בן ועתה אל תשתי יין ושחר ואל תאכלי כל טומאה כי נזיר לי ינער מן הבטן עד יום מויסי ויתרמונויח אל אדוני ויאמר בי אדוני איש אלוהים אשר שלחת יבוא נועד אלינו ויראנו מה נעשה לנער היולד וישמע האלוהים בקול מנויח ויבוא מלאך או אלוהים עד אלו אישה והיא יושבת בשדה ומנויח אישה אין עמו ותמהר האישה ותרוץ ותגד לאישה ותאמר אליו הנני רואה אלי האיש אשר בו ויאמר אלי ויקום וילך מנויח אחרי אשתו ויבוא אל האיש ויאמר לו אתה איש אשר דיברת אל האישה ויאמר אני ויאמר מנויח אתה יבוא דברך מה יהיה משפט הנער ומעשהו ויאמר מלאך אדוני אל מנויח מיכאל אשר אמרתי אל האישה תשמר מכל אשר יצא מגפן היין לא יאכל יין ושחר אל תש בכל טומאה אל תאכל כל אשר ציוויתי תשמור ויאמר מנויח אל מלאך אדוני נעצרנו יסוק ונעשה לפניך גדיזים ויאמר מלאך אדוני אל מנויח אם תעצרני לא אוכל בלחמך ואם תעשה אוהלו לאדוני תעלנו כי לא ידע מנויח כי מלאך אדוני הוא ויאמר מנויח אל מלאך אדוני משמך כי יבוא דברך וכיבדנוך ויאמר לו מלאך אדוני למה זה תשאל לשמי והופלי ויקח מנויח חסקדי עזים ושמינך ויעל על הצור לאדוני ומפליא לעשויס ומנויח ואשתו רואים ויבלויס עליו מעל המזבח השמיימו ויעל מלאך אדוני בלב המזבח ומנויח ואשתו רואים ויפלו על פניהם ארצה לא יוסף אוהד מלאך אדוני לרואי אל מנויח ואל אשתו עוז ידע מנויח Ki malach Adonai hu vayoy mermonoyach elishtoi mois namus ki Elohim roinu matoy mer lo ishtoi lu vafetz Adonai lamisenu lo ilokach miodenu oilo mincha lo yeronu es holele Bechois lo yishmianu kozois Vatelero ishabein Vatikra es shemoy shimshoin Vayigdal anar Vayvorechehu Adonai Vatochel ruach Adonai lefamoy B'machne dan Vein sorrow Uvein eshtoil.
Kiddush this Shabbos and today's Zoom broadcast is sponsored by Duvie and Debbie Menzelefsky, Le'ilu Nishmas, Duvie's brother, Chaim Baruch ben Reuven Oliver Sholem, whose yahrzeit is on Yud Zayin Sivan. May his neshama have an aliyah. Mincha on Shabbos is at 8:25. Pirkei Avos, Perek Aleph is at 9:20. Daf Yomi Motzei Shabbos, Danny Finkel shir is at 10:30 on the regular channel A7613. And at 10:45, Yossi Simon's Daf Yomi shir, channel B, 1948. Mishe Beirach, Avosenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, V'yivorech es Moreinu Rav Moshe Mordechai B'Shem Yitzchak, V'ishtai V'kol Mishpachtoi, Ba'avur Shemoreinu Rav Moshe Mordechai B'Shem Yitzchak, Mitzpalo Ba'ad Kol Chavrei Agudas Yisrael, V'zchazeh Kodesh Baruch Hu Yishmerei V'tzaleim Mikol Tzav V'tzugo, V'mikol Negem Machla, V'yisha Baruch V'tzlacho Chol Askedeim Kol Yisrael Acheihem V'noimar Amen.
Shkoyach.
Hi, Dudi. You want to tell us about this niggin that you're about to sing? Not to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot.
My Yisrael, or should I just?
My Yisrael, as we intended.
Okay. This song that my brother composed, I don't remember exactly when. I think it was like in the late 70s or maybe 80-ish, something like that. And it's actually, I think, my favorite of all of his nigunim, but unfortunately, it never got published or it was never put on any record or anything like that. So it's not really that well known. We used to sing it when we davened downstairs, and when he first composed it, he used to sing it for the Yomid, and we knew it back then, but then it's been a long time. So he put it to the words of Im Einani Miwi. And I'm reluctant to use it when I daven for the Yomid in Shul, because I like using nigun that everyone knows to be Mahana the Olam, so everyone can sing along. But now that it's being recorded, then maybe everyone can listen. And Mirz Hashem, when we're back in the Shul one day soon and I use it, everyone can sing along. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Elokeinu Ayhu Avinu Ayhu Malkeinu Hu Moishienu V'hu Yahoshienu Yileinu Sheini V'yashmienu B'rachamov Sheinis V'yeinei kol chai lemor Hayhengo al tiyasem Achar Ahailiyos lachem le'leikim.
Koyach.
Hello, Kiva Balter. Can I ask you something?
I'm not sure if this is the right time right now.
Okay, I missed the name, the shiurim that you gave me, but could you repeat it, please?
Yeah, with pleasure. Why don't you call me at home in 20 minutes, and I will do that with pleasure.
Okay, and
Thank you.
also, why was there no? Is this always every Friday, 5:15?
Thank you. Hi. Thank you.
Okay, continue.
Yes, thank you. So, speaking of downstairs in Shul and previous Nigunim, it's a great pleasure to welcome back an echo of the past. But if we could speak to the walls of the Beis Medrash, I'm sure that his voice is imprinted in there. Yumi Zlotnik, are you there? We can't hear him. There. Thank you. Yumi,
Yes.
Are you there? Yes. Have you been
Yes.
enjoying the
Hear me?
program so far? Yes, we hear you loud and clear. Have you been enjoying the program so far?
Yes, I like that guy who asked questions before.
Yumi, we miss you and we miss the attitude. Baruch Hashem. You're about to sing YEDID NEFESH. If I can put you on the spot, and since you like questions, what is it about Buri Olav Shalom's Nigunim that really touched you?
Well, this one I'm going to sing is YEDID NEFESH, as obviously a soulmate, old classmate from grade 1 in Eitz Chaim all the way through yeshiva in many years. And any time we got together, Hanukkah, Purim, Simchas B'Sheva, we always had our own, Yedidim, Kumzitz, and we always sang his Nigunim, which were heartfelt and touching, and there's many more, not just me, but many friends who have participated. And Chaim Baruch ben Ervuninches, and the Neshama should have no Aliyah.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Oh.
Shkoyach.
I use this,
Yumi,
Nigen.
thank you very much.
Can you hear me still?
Recall when you daven for the Yomid in the Agudah,
No, can't hear me.
if you had a piano accompaniment. I can't recall if they allowed keyboards downstairs while you were davening for the Yomid there. But I'm
I
glad
use this Nigen for
you have a
Zachrenu,
piano with you.
Yom Mitzrayim.
But thank you, Mrs. Dini Zlotnik, for the beautiful piano accompaniment, unless it was you, Yumi.
Pardon?
Who played the
Can you
piano?
hear me?
You or Mrs. Zlotnik?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
So I'm just telling you, this is Nigen I use for Yom Mitzrayim on Zachrenu L'chaim. So whenever I'm davening Yom Mitzrayim, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Buri is on my mind, in my heart.
Beautiful.
Also, piano lessons and guitar lessons are available. I get in Shabbos.
Shabbos,
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
You got your
Thank
hands.
you, Yumi. Come back and see us. Okay. The Rav is ready.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Shir Amalis, right?
Yeah. Shir Amalis, Imam Hakim Grasicha Adonai, Adonai Shema B'Kaili, Yanazach Gashuvais, Adonai, Kedvar Yachol Dinav Shel Adonai Mishayim Labayke, Shayim Labayke Yachei Yisrael Adonai, when the Chesed Varbi Ma'ifedos, V'yibdes Yisrael Mekoi Labayno Yisrael. Askele David, Yoisai V'maras Vila, Koili El Adonai Azad, Koili El Adonai Azchanan, Eshrak L'panav Sichi, Tzirasi L'panav Agid, Yisrael V'gvati Dadnis V'osavayach Z'vahalech Tam L'pachli, Abei Yamin V'rei V'ein Makir, Avadman Oismein Ein Doire Shana, Akte Lech Adonai Mate Mach Zechel Geveretz HaChaim, Akshiva Nosik Eloisim Yoid Atzayim Eroid Paik Yom Tzimeni, Chaitzim Azgen Av Shloish Mech V'yachtiu Tzadikim Kisigma Eloicheinu Kol Beis Yisrael, Anasunu V'tzon Shvoim Dem Beim Yom V'osha, Amokim Menachem Aleim, Chaitzim Tzor L'vachom Feiloim Meshubit L'kul Ash V'kol Zman Kori V'naim Amen, Yishbech Al Zerem Zul Yaakov V'moish Adam Shalom V'yachov V'rapes, Chaim Doiv, and Kei Labram Shalom Faivish Ben Brandel, as Aaron Ben Tove Etov, as Shalom Yosef Ben Handel, as Yaakov Ben Teleya, as Tzvi, Ben Al-Tzir Ben Kol Kamazman, as Chazak Shvok V'manach Malem, Achlim Am Rapaisa Machzikom Yachyoisam, Yishol Nehem Meheira Refu Shalem L'chol Rem Chol Dem Zor Shokol Yisrael. Who is no Shabbos Kovash was Makari Ben Ayman Amen. This we just heard the Haftarah that Meyer Shkoyach Meyer, the beautiful Haftarah, and it's one of the most beautiful Haftarahs. How a Malach came and informed Shimshon's mother and his father that they're going to have a child. So there are many lessons that you learn from this Haftarah. And one lesson you learn in Chinuch, if you want your child to do something, you have to do the same thing. A father can't do one thing and tell a child do something else. I could use a smartphone, but you can't use a smartphone. I could smoke, but you can't smoke. A child emulates a parent. Everything a child sees by a parent, a child does. So the first lesson Shimshon's mother was given and Menoyach was given, you have to do the same thing. Your son is going to be a Nazir. And that's why it's in this week's Parsha. This week's Parsha speaks about Naziris. You're going to be a Nazir, your child's made Nazir. You both have to be, take upon yourself not to drink wine. That's the only way your child will also be able to do the same thing. It's very important, in Baruch now that we were locked up for so long, and to know that, children look at the parents and learn from the parents. There's nothing, like I said, so beautiful at home. And that's where everything starts. Everything starts at home. Shamshon Hirsch once said that if he'd be in his koyach, he'd close the shuls, and just people should know that the main thing is the Yiddish home. There's nothing as important as the Yiddish home. Sure, we need, but going to see us like the Ramban brings the end of by. We need the place to daven. But he meant to say that don't forget the main thing. The main thing is the Jewish home, the Yiddish hearts, and it starts with the parents. With the parents, not only that, before the baby is born, even the parent has to start. Someone once came to a gadol and asked, "When does my chinuch start, my son?" So he said the chinuch started before the baby was born. Chinuch starts a parent the way it puts into the child before the baby is born. That's when the chinuch starts. There's another lesson. The end of the parsha, there's 176 psukim. So the simanim are Aminadav and Amais. So Pashat Amais in the Navi Amais, it says that Nevi'im also became Nazirim. That the Nevi'im, so Amais speaks about Nazirim, and Aminadav is Aminadav. So David Weinstein Shlita says Aminadav, that's like a Nazir is Menadav himself something. But the main thing is, but like we meant, like Kiva mentioned before, you know, in this parsha we learn, why do you become a Nazir? Aminadav, you become a Nadav because you saw something. You see something, it tells you to do something. Take upon yourself something. Do something. And Akiva mentioned this maximum fee that's going to start in a week from Monday for 40 days, every day, an hour. At the Indian maximum fee, it's interesting. What do we have nowadays? You wear masks. A maximum fee. For some reason, everything that we see, the Baal Shem Tov says you have to learn from. Why do we wear masks? Maxim lefi. Remember, your mouth has to have a muzzle. It has to have a maxim. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you talk. Be careful. A maxim lefi. The purpose of maxim lefi, people always ask me, you know, it's only 1 hour a day that you don't speak Lashon Hara, and the rest of the day you could speak Lashon Hara. I mean, only 1 hour a day I'm not going to eat chazer. The rest of the day I'm going to eat chazer. A person has to 24 hours a day not speak Lashon Hara. It's an aver, a bigger aver than eating chazer. But in a person, so it's such a hard aver to keep because it's so easy to speak, and the Yetzer Hara makes us speak and wants us to speak. So at least if a person's conscientious for 1 hour, he learns to, from an hour, become longer. It's not so hard. He learns to control himself. It doesn't mean the hour is up. Oh, now I can speak Lashon Hara. It means like an hour is up. Now I could do an aver. Chas v'shalom. Means that hour trains the person. It trains a person that he should be able to be on automatic mode, that I start like this and then I put an automatic pilot. You start right later also. Like the Chavetz Chaim didn't have to think every second his whole life. He knew that's how he lived. And the purpose of Maxim Lefi, the Chavetz Chaim says a person does that. You remember, you put a maxim, you put a mask on your mouth, is Maxim Lefi. There's another lesson in Aminadav. Aminadav is from the Nesim. Yeah, so we know that the Torah is repetitious, says over the Nesim again and again and again. And then at the end, the Torah gives why the Torah should have just said Aminadav brought it, and everyone else, the Nachman Aminadav brought it, and then everyone else. There's a beautiful lesson Rabbi Chatzkel Levenstein Zechron Baruch said. Just imagine if you know, many people do something, and everyone feels they want to do it completely. And then all of a sudden, when you come giving credit, you say, this person did it, everyone else followed him. I mean, we all did it. You feel, you embarrassed the other people, you hurt the other people. So Chatzkel Levenstein said, if the Torah would just write, Nachshon Nanav did it, and everyone else, the lesson in this is that you have to always be careful, not to hurt a person, not to hurt people, You see what the whole world was going crazy because one person was hurt. And everyone is coming together. We have to feel the same way when we see a fellow Yid being hurt, with the mouth, in a shul, someone being embarrassed, someone being hurt. It should hurt us just as much. Gemara says is mamish like it's like killing a person. When you see someone go embarrassed, you should get angry at that person, just like the whole world is being angry at over here. And this is the Indian to so Chatzkel says a beautiful that a person has to be careful. So Chatzkel, that this is the Torah would have just written and just say everyone else did the same thing. What I mean, I also, it's just like in a class that the Rebbe would say this boy did the best, and everyone else also. What do you mean? I worked so hard. What do you mean? I also worked so hard. Just because he was the first one, I did the same thing. There's a beautiful story Reb Chaim Oizer. It's a big lesson for all of us, and I think it's also, we can find this in the Haftarah. The Reb Chaim Oizer, there was that time, they used to be called to the army, and until you had to get a tour for somebody from the army, it was never to go get into the Russian army is never you leave all the Yiddishkeit and everything. And they were always mishtadel. It was his Talmud, Yankel, who was very close to it. They worked on him, and Baruch Hashem, they're working to try to get him that he should be get a part from the army. And Chaim was in the middle of big din Torah. Two people. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the door, and someone runs in. Rebbe, Yankov got a patur. Yankov Baruch Hashem. He doesn't have to go. He's deferred. He doesn't have to go. And Chaim was so happy. The simcha he had. Shkoyach were telling me in the middle of the Shkoyach, and the Eibush is a help us open a lang leben, a gesund leben. You should live long. So a few minutes later, there's another knock on the door. It looks like another bacher also heard this news, and he didn't know, and he knew Chaim was going to be so happy. So he ran in and he says, Rebbe, you heard Yaakov got up to his potter. And then Chaim again was so besimcha. He said, Oi, Shkoyach for telling me, you made me so besimcha. And so leben lang and so sagen gesund. A little later, another knock on the door, and there's the middle of Big Din Torah. And again, he comes in, and again, he says the same news. And then Chaim goes with the same enthusiasm, the same, wow, Shkoyach for telling me, thank you for telling me. And so saying, leben, and this happened 6 times. Chaim knew this, the Baruch felt so good coming, telling him, Chaim was just imagine, Chaim would have told him, Choshen Gehet. He would feel so devastated. So Chaim every time, middle of a Din Torah, middle of a Shver Din Torah, he showed the enthusiasm. You find the same thing in the Haftarah. Why didn't Rabbi Shem right away tell Eishes Menayach, you should know that you and your husband keep all the halachos not to drink wine and not be tam, all the halachos. Why they tell separate for Menayach? Because just imagine how Menayach would have felt bad. Me, he can't tell. He could only tell my wife. So Rabbi Shem made first the Malach came and told the wife, then told how careful we have to be. When someone comes and tells you something, I heard it already. Even if you heard it, don't say you heard it. Say, a person comes tells you a good news, something, show the person appreciation. Thank you for telling me. Thank you. The person came, give you good news. Oh, Chashin, go ahead. I know about it already. The person feels, the person came, they wanted to make you feel good. And especially this is, at home, my wife and her husband and the children and everyone, to make a person always to remember how to, the achrayas, to care about every individual, care about everything. So the lesson that we have nowadays is the caring, the song that very, very, I was very, very close to him. He used to come to me with his guitar and sing. He gave me a cassette with all the songs, and he was Molei Leiv. He was Molei Leiv, a shtik hearts. Mein anili milik shanila atzmi mani. Was the nigga, remember he sang it over again. And Mein anili, first you have to care about yourself. You don't care about yourself, you're nothing. Shanila atzmi. But anila atzmi mani, what does it mean? So there's a word from the tells the Rav. Every person's ani is a different ani. I. A child knows I is only me. A young child. Then you get a little bigger, I becomes my friend also. You get married, I becomes me and my wife. You have children, it's me and my children. You become, you're Isaac and Klal, my ani. Every person, Shani la'atzmi, if your ani is only me alone, you don't care about anyone else. Mani, your ani is nothing. You're so selfish. Your whole ani is only me and nothing else. Only what am I going to get out of it? And you don't look your ani. The ani has to be, who am I? A Rav is ani, the whole Kehillah. Everyone is my ani. Everyone, Rashiva, every Talmud is a Rebbe. Every Talmud, that's my Talmud. That's my Talmud. There's a do it. When Shamim from Doma, he was in America, and they told him to stay when he's going back, and they knew what's happening in Europe. The Nazis, and he had 3 sons that he had. So they said, be matzal your 3 sons. What do you mean, my 3 sons? Chafir 100 zin. Every one of my children, every one of my talmidim are my children. Every one. How could I not care? How could I just take my 3 sons? Every one of my sons. They're all my sons. Every one. And who is your ani? An ani of a person has to be, who am I? I care about every individual in the world. I care, and this is what Shammai says in this week's Perek, that Hamakabla Skol Adam is savor Banu Yavis. Every person, with the story of Chaimah, is every person saved Banu Yavis. Not only the first person. Every person should be. Every person comes, give him the same, like if I visited, give him the same safer, cheerful face. But every person comes and tells you something. You heard the shtickle Torah, and someone comes and tells you, "Shkayach for telling me, I'm so happy." Show your gladness. And then what Hillel says that a person should be oyev shalom, roidev shalom, it's mekarven l'Torah. That's what we have to do nowadays, and that's the lesson we have to know. The achrayus we have to every person else. You look at the whole world should stick and fight for them. To stick, and that's what they're rioting and everything for and we have to know that we have to achrayus for every individual. And oyev shalom, roidev shalom. We have to be not chas v'shalom. We have to learn. When you see what they do, we have to learn not to be like that. Not to be vicious and stealing and breaking and chas v'shalom. That's not the way. Oyev shalom, roidev shalom. It has to be roidev. It has to be always the shalom. And oyev is the Baruch should help that we should learn the lesson. These lessons from the parasha, the Maxim Lefi, the lesson of caring about every individual. It's called out them. Every person. There's no one should be proud, like we spoke last night. We shouldn't be racist against anybody. We should love every individual, and then the Baruch will help them. We'll be zoicha that this magef will go away. And the main thing we want, we're waiting for going back. Baruch Hashem, we have these beautiful memories of these people. Just heard Yumi. We used to hear him daven beautiful. And Duvie, Baruch Hashem, still davens and sings these negunim for us. And remembering we used to sing with his whole life. And we have to know how the Tziri minion was Reuben. The first years I was here, he was from the people, the pioneers, together with his brother. And the Baruch should help that they should schusam yogan aleinu as to see the Geula b'meir b'meinu. And all of you have a good Shabbos.
Shabbos, thank you very much.
Shabbos.
Rabbi Lowy, it's Avram. I have a question to ask you.
Nadi, you want to ask me a question? Call me.
What's the earliest you could light candles?
Yes.
7:20.
Okay, thank you.
7:20 is the earliest. Thank you, man.
It's so nice to hear your voice, Rabbi Avram. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Baruch Hashem. We had a nice turnout today. Mirz Hashem, we will do it again next week. As there are minyanim popping up, we're going to move more towards Negunim of Shabbos, but we're always going to keep the flavor of the Agudah. I want to thank, of course, the Rav, Duvie Menzelefsky, and the Zlotnik family, and Meyer Tenenbaum, and Moish Stern. Thank you very much for your contribution to the program.
Thank you, Akiva.
On Monday night. Have a good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Thank you, Akiva Balter.
Good Shabbos.
I forgot to thank two people who are working diligently to keep the airwaves clear without buttons and blips, and that's Benny Feintuch and his father Shlomi Feintuch and Avigdor Hyman as well, who presses the buttons magnificently. Thank you very much.
Shkayach.
Shabbos.